Well, I teach biology. Well, who created that you study? Who created the amoeba? Who created any life form that you are studying to call yourself a biologist? Is it not he whom you don't want to have his name mentioned? He's the real headmaster, you know. You're studying physics, chemistry, history, but the God who is the author of it all, you can't mention his name, then something is wrong in a system like that. Now, let me say this for the record. The founding fathers wanted separation of church and state, but not disconnect of the church from the state, or the state from the church. Do you realize that all throughout these books, Bible, Quran, God respected kings, but he sent to kings prophets. And the prophets always said to the king, "Thus saith the Lord." Today, however, the prophets are bought by the kings. And therefore, if you're looking for a favor from the kings, you don't want to talk too much, so you kind of mutter your mouth a little bit, so you can get a favor from the ruler. But then you're not seeking the favor of God, you're seeking the favor of man, so you lose the favor of God. Now what happens? What happens if there's a disconnect between heaven and earth? If the sun does not draw water up from the earth's surface into the earth's rotation, which is called gravitation, forming what is called a cloud. And if the wind does not drive that cloud over an earth that is dead and rain down on that earth so that the seeds in the earth may swell, germinate, and come up, that we may eat and feed from the earth, because there's a connection between what is above and what is beneath. We don't have that connection anymore. And that's why the human being is suffering and is a caricature of what God intended human beings to be. We are no longer man in the image of God. We are a caricature of what God intended, because we are all filled with rebellion. And whatever Allah, God said thou shalt not do, government says it's okay. It's all right. Help yourself. So the connection is so great. But you, my brothers and sisters, when Elijah Muhammad came among us, he taught what you could call a black theology. A lot of people were offended by that, turned off by that. In the Muslim world, they were angry. They said, you know, Islam does not teach color. What's wrong with you people? But they don't know what happened to us. I'm going to read something to you that was written by one who was in the Virginia House of Delegates. That man said that we have extinguished listen, every avenue by which light can enter the slave's mind. And he said, if they continued along that line, black people would be in a condition that we could never come out of. Now let's look, I want you to look at black people now. And I'm going to ask you a question. See. My Arab brothers and sisters who are here, you give honor to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, because he took the Arab from a state of what they call jahiliyyah, or extreme ignorance. And with this book, Quran, he raised the Arabs and made the Arabs a power in the world through divine revelation. The Caucasians once lived in the hills and cave sides of Europe. They didn't know how to cook their food or bury their dead. But Moses taught them. And from a cave state, they came forth. And now you can say, by the light of the silvery moon. And white folks say, I'm going there. Think about that. You can say, I wonder, is there something going on Mars? They put together the mathematics, the science, and they got a contraption on Mars. See, they don't believe in a mystery God. They believe in the reality of God and how God works through the human by giving us insight into the nature of his creation. Here's a people that have been in America over 450 years. And foreigners come to America, and within a few days, they have money, they have businesses, they have economic standing, they're proud of being an American because they came here with nothing and they have what they have. We've been here longer than anyone else, except the native, indigenous people, Indians. But we have some stars among us. We do. We have great minds among us. We do. We have people that are shaking the world. We do. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you can never, no one man can ever escape being identified with the condition of his people. If your people are nothing, how can you be something? If you don't change nothing into something, then you just something that is made. So, if you look at the condition of black people, they had something on TV on CNN, and it was about black people.